So, I guess we'll start with some familiar territory for me. This is VVVVVV1 moment. Huh. You know what? I'll just refer to this as the V game, since that's what my Sibs usually called it back in the day. Anyway, you play the role of Captain Viridian. He and his 5 space crewmates get warped into some kind of alternate dimension, and now you need to reunite with them and find your way back home. The aim of the game is simple. You flip gravity repeatedly to get from point A to point B. And that's the end of the tutorial, pretty much. Some games give your character offensive tactics to work with, while others, such as this one, the only thing you can really do is dodge stuff. And yet, despite being built around such a simple gimmick and having an art style reminiscent of probably something between the Atari 2600 and NES, this game gets surprisingly a lot of material out of this one idea. The level design gets pretty creative with the maneuvers required to do to progress, as some jumps require a little bit of patience, while others expect you to think fast, and they also throw in extra things such as the old reappear on the other side of the screen trick, these cords that change your gravity for you, and a couple escort missions that are, I guess, tolerable as far as escort missions go. In between level segments, you get some exploration, world building, some Zelda-esque puzzle solving, and I think an unlockable minigame at one point. You're given a map to help you find undiscovered territories, teleports that conveniently only work for you after you find them, this is a Metroidvania after all, and eventually you're given locations of these shiny trinkets which can be especially hard to reach sometimes. Some of these require you to rethink your approach to a level, like this one right here for example. You need to figure out how to get on the other side of these boundaries. And then others are just plain ridiculous, such as the infamous Bitter Tears section where you need to avoid 5 rooms of spikes and react to misleading turns and paths, all for a shiny trinket on the other side of this one roadblock about the size of your foot. Part of me does wonder if this and similar segments might be easier if the game had tighter controls, because while unfair deaths were a rare occurrence in this game, I did notice that the left and right movements can be a bit oversensitive at times. But regardless, I eventually got the thing after building up a ton of muscle memory and lightning reflexes, so let it be said that nothing in this game is impossible. Actually, all things considered, the V game isn't really that hard as far as these trial and error games go. Sure, some of the achievements they tempt you with are ridiculous, and I've spent entire road trips just trying to clear this stupid jump. But as far as playing it casually goes, I can't really think of any mandatory segments that took more than 10 attempts to clear, and checkpoints are placed pretty frequently, so most of the time you don't even have to do over the really tricky jumps. It's definitely a game where you happen to die a lot. I can even see what they were going for with the title, but it's honestly pretty tame compared to a lot of the other games you'll see shortly after. Heck, I even did a main plus extra run of this in less than 2 hours just to get the footage for this video. For what it's worth though, it can still be pretty darn challenging in places, and part of what makes the V game so memorable is its simplicity and straightforwardness. I guess if you're new to precision platformers, I would probably recommend to play this game first. Also, I don't care what anyone says, but screw Shovel Knight and screw Mega Man 9, this game has the best chiptune soundtrack in a post-chiptune world. At least, that's what I think anyway.